Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to have a discussion on empathy and sympathy, kindness and respect. And I thought it being the election week, it may be a good week to kind of revisit those things because I think a lot of emotions are kind of high right now. And these are just good lessons to learn all the time and kind of refresh on them. So let's talk about empathy. So empathy sounds a lot like another word, sympathy. Yep. And sympathy isn't whenever we are feeling sorry for someone. So they have lost their favorite backpack. They can't find it. It's gone. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That sounds terrible. So that's kind of sympathy. Empathy is when we actually feel what that person is feeling. So empathy would be like, oh, it has to feel so, I would feel so anxious if my backpack was missing, or I would feel so sad because I really get attached to my backpacks during the year, whatever it is. So sympathy is saying, I'm sorry. Empathy is having the real feeling that that person is feeling. And that's really important because there's a technique where you seek first to understand, then to be understood. And that's a lot to do with empathy. So if I'm having a conversation with my friend and they are telling me how much they love pizza, I mean, they are all about pizza. And me personally, I might be a spaghetti person and I might be like, pizza's silly, I don't like pizza, whatever, I don't care about pizza. Yeah, so I would sit down and talk with my friend Sally, and I would say, Sally, tell me why you like pizza. I want to know about that. Because I can't truly understand Sally until I understand why she likes what she likes. She could say, well, I can eat pizza with my hands, so I don't need a fork. I can put as many toppings on pizza as I want. I can choose different healthier options with pizza if I want to. I can share my pizza with a friend. There's a lot of great pizza restaurants in Fayetteville that I like to go to. And her points are super valid. Like, that's true. You can just eat pizza with your hands while you're walking around. You can't do that with spaghetti. There are a lot of healthy options with pizza. You can put veggies and stuff like that on it and gluten-free. So that's another valid point. So my friend Sally had some really awesome points about why she likes pizza. Now, for her to be a good friend, she would also listen to me and be an active listener when I'm talking. So when she's like, all right, tell me why you like spaghetti. So I can tell her all the reasons that I like spaghetti, and she can truly hear that. Instead of thinking back as she's talking, like, well, I can make that point different. Oh, well, I can tell her that pizza can be more expensive. Oh, I'm going to tell her this that I like about spaghetti. No. When I'm listening to Sally tell me about her favorite food, I'm really listening to Sally because it's important to me. She's an important friend to me. I don't have to agree that I like pizza better, but it's important that I hear Sally because we're good friends and I might learn something. Just like I never thought about how I can eat it just with my hands and not and I have to have a fork. So you have to have a utensil to eat spaghetti. So it's a super valid point from her. So being a good friend is having empathy, and the way that we can gain empathy is truly listening to someone and understanding where they come from, and having respect for their viewpoint. And we get that from really listening to them and being an active listener. One way that you can be a really good active listener is, as they're talking, I want you to come up with 2 questions to ask them about their topic. So, let's say I am hanging out with my friend Brandon, and Brandon is telling me why he wants to be a construction worker. So Brandon's like, I really like to move dirt, and I think it's super fun to play with all the big equipment, and he's telling me all about it. So in my head, instead of saying, you know what, construction worker is not that fun, I would rather be a lawyer. Instead of thinking about me, I'm going to be thinking about questions I can ask Brandon about what he's saying. So he's telling me about how he likes to use all those big, huge equipment things. And I'm like, so Brandon, what are some of the names of those? Have you ever ridden in one? What do you like about them? Is there a certain one that you would like to take a tour on and get to drive around one time? So my thinking is all about their talking. It's not about how I'm feeling or thinking. So that is how we actively listen. Have 2 questions in your pocket that you just want to ask your friend when they're explaining something to you. And that can make you be an active listener. The second way to be an active listener is just ask clarifying questions. So, my friend Brandon's telling about how he liked to be a construction worker. So I can be like, so let me just make sure I'm right about this. You really like to move dirt. That's super fun for you. You like to do that. Even in your yard, do you like to do that? So I'm just asking a question just to be sure I understand it correctly. And so these are things that we can think about on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, next week, after the election, because our friends are still going to be our friends, and the people sitting next to us are still important to us. And our teachers' perspective and our students' perspective and our parents' perspective are all really important, and they're all valid. So when you have someone talking to you about a different point of view, whether it's pizza or construction or the election, just listen and hear what they have to say. And I'm not asking everyone to be best friends, and I'm not even asking for you to agree. But what we do expect is for you to be respectful. So talk to your friend. Talk to your neighbor even if they're not your best friend. Ask them clarifying questions. Really truly want to understand how they feel. Because some of us are going to feel very sad after we get the results from the election, and some people are going to feel very happy. And both feelings are okay. And that is why we vote and have America, and that is why our voting system happens, is because we all have different opinions, and those different opinions are what makes this world a better and most beautiful place. So we don't have to agree all the time. We don't have to even like what the other person says. So the next couple weeks, just give your ear to someone, which means to listen to them. And just hear your friends and what they feel and what they say. And you don't have to agree. You just have to be respectful. Have a good day, guys.